welcome to Just Crafting Around. Today we are going to work with the two-tier stand again like we're going to be doing for the rest of the year, and we are going to be decorating it for the 4th of July. So let's get started. I'm going to put this stuff in here and then we will take these shawls and kind of wind around it a little bit, see where we end up. I purchased these at the dollar store. Again, like I've said in the past, probably don't want to go with anything too loud, so we're going to see if this works or if I need to go back to the lace, the white lace. What I did was purchase the number 4 at Hobby Lobby. It's just is like a gray color, kind of how to explain it. And I painted it blue, and then I did the stripes over on this side, and then I did some stars over on this side. What I did then was I took some sandpaper, sanded around it, distressed it all, and then of course took some stain and put it over the top to make it look old and weathered. This is how it turned out. So of course I put some magnetic on the bottom so that it would stand, because the number 4 is awfully hard to stand in something, unless of course you put the magnet. Being this is galvanized, this magnet worked out absolutely perfect. So here's our number 4 for getting started. This here I just had laying at home. What it is it's just a piece of an old staircase that was left out, must have been left outside for a while. It looks kind of rough. So this was white. It actually was painted white, but you can see that it's been around for a while, that it kind of has lost its white lacquer. Can't even call this chippy white because there is not a whole white left to it. So what I did was I cut it down just to make it a stand. We're just going to put it in here to take up some space. And of course, spacers and adding things, I mean, it's just a part of doing something like this. You want fillers in here. And like I've talked before, it's good to have fillers because you have a big area to cover. And if you would spend, I don't even know what you would, if you would go and spend money, what the cost of it would be to fill this. And I don't want to fill it, I want to pick out the pieces that I really like and fill it every year. So it's kind of an ongoing process is what it is. Okay, so we took care of that. I had some buttons, so I have some old buttons in here. Of course, the blue on the bottom, the white in the middle, and the red on the top. So we have got red, white, and blue in here. I'm going to put that there, and we're going to squash them up as we go along. Of course, I've had this in my last 2 presentations, but we're going to put it back in again. This is just a red, white, and blue flag that we put on a piece of wood, used denim, used embellishments up on top here. And then down here, used some fabric and kind of tea stained it a little bit so that it didn't look so nice and new, and then used the ribbon for on the side. So I think that turned out pretty cool. So of course on the bottom, I ended up putting some magnets in that. Okay, I'm gonna put that there. The other paper mache that I had was, and I actually had this from Christmas. So I had painted it red, white, and blue, and I didn't like it because it's not squared off decent. So what I did was I repainted it over the top with the navy, and then I put the stars on. Again, sanded it and used stain for over the top of it. And then when I sanded it, of course, some of the red came through, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Red, white, and blue anyway. So I'm going to put this up here. Let's start putting stuff on, and then we can always do something and rearrange it. The other thing was just plain at the dollar store, got some necklaces, red and blue. I couldn't find any white, so we're just going to stay with the red and blue. The jar I actually got for 75 cents on sale at Joann's Fabrics. I try to hit up all the stores because you just never know. Every one of them is different. I mean, you can go to Joann's Fabrics, you can go to Hobby Lobby, you can go to Michael's. You're going to find stuff different all over. I had this little case at home, just this little deal, so I red, white, and blued that, painted it. It was just a little cover like this, so I'm going to take that and stick that up in here. Nothing fancy with it, nothing whatever, just something we're going to throw in. And then we're going to start arranging and putting things where we want them to be. Okay, next step is I made some firecrackers. What I did was I took dowel sticks and I did tall a little bit shorter, a little bit shorter. Then I painted, then I distressed them, and then I drilled in the top. I actually had some of this at home and I'm not sure where I got it from, but I had some laying around, which is exactly what I wanted for these pieces. So I drilled a hole, stuck these in, and then of course took my hot glue gun and put quite a bit of hot glue in there so that they would stay. So they turned out pretty good. So here are my firecrackers. And I used jute to tie them together. So here's a little long. I don't quite want it that long. Cut those off. I'm going to put them back here. So here's my fireworks for the 4th of July. I then went and of course put some fabric around some of these balls. Here I've got some blue and the rest is red and white. So the navy was from denim, and that's what I used as the blue part of it. Of course, like I always say, fillers is important. It's always good to have some filler. We can arrange those a little bit different as we go along here. The next things I found, or that I actually put together, were just a few of these. These are talls. These are we're going to use for fillers as well. They're tall spools, and I just took some material that I had at home, put it around here, used these. So these are going to be some of our fillers. I have 2 more smaller balls that are fillers that we're going to use. I then had some of these stones that are red, white, and blue. So put them in this container here, which we will put in the bottom. Put that over there. I like to try to have some stuff taller in the back and then go shorter in the front. The other thing that I made was, and this was actually kind of fun, I took the clothespins, and I'm kind of in love with clothespins too, as you can see, and I took some masking tape and I masked off. Now, I didn't do these equally. You can see that these are, wow, I did do this fairly close. Okay, I'm impressed. Because, I mean, to tell you, wow. Okay, so I'm better than I thought. Anyway, what I did with these is I painted, took masking tape, masked them down so far, painted the blue, painted the white, painted the red, took off the tape, distressed them, then took stain and stained it. What I did after that was I took, you can find these tabs now. After tea staining this, I found them in this color already. So, but what I did was these were completely white, as you can see a little bit better in the back. What I did was I took some tea and some coffee, instant coffee, and I took a rag and I put it in there, some cheesecloth, and I dipped it in the water, and then I dipped it on each side, let it dry real good, and then I went after it again to get the consistency that I wanted. I then had some letters like this, some stick-on letters that I thought were pretty cool. So I put the 4th on one, I put the word flag, USA, honor, and free on here. I tried to get the word freedom, but it didn't work. Then I just made some plain ones. What I wanted to do then is order to put these on and hang them on here. I didn't want anything too nice. So what I did was I just took some jute, tied it around, and then put that on there. So those I think turned out pretty good. Of all the things that I did for the 4th of July, this really is my favorite right here. Then I found a jar that I thought these would fit in pretty cool. And taking them and just kind of throwing them to the side like that so you can read what they say. So I wanted these to all hang out like this and stick out. I don't mind the jute sticking out all over. I think that's going to look pretty cool, so I'm going to put that right here. In fact, I'm going to put that front and center right here. Don't want anything that high, so we're going to use a square one. See how that makes it look. Okay, same size. Let me use these from, because this actually is the cover for this. So I want it high, but I don't want it that high to take away from everything else, which I think that looks pretty cool. Okay, we're going to stick with that. This, I think I had. Oh, I must have had that on here.
Blazing fast broadband internet from Valley is now available and better than ever. Let us help you decide which speed is best for you. The 50 meg speed would be sufficient for 1 to 4 devices, mainly emailing and surfing the web. Our 100 meg speed works great for 5 to 8 devices and multiple users streaming and downloading video. If you have 8 devices or more that are simultaneously streaming or gaming, or if you have a medium-sized business, the 250 meg speed would work best for you. For extreme heavy home or work from home use, or if you have a medium to large business using 15 or more devices, you may want to consider our 500 meg download speed to fit your needs. And if you're a home or business that needs it all, we have our 1000 meg 1 gig broadband internet speed. Call our office today at 437-2615 and talk with one of our staff members to pick the speed that's best for you.
I usually, when I'm done with this and I like it the way I do, I usually take a picture so that when I put it in my container, I know what I did from last year. Although I like change, so we're going to change this up. Okay, the next thing I made was, I just had some bells laying around. They were silver and I didn't like them silver, so I did one in red, one in white, and one in blue. And then of course, what did I have to do? Take sandpaper. So I took sandpaper after these. These we're also going to use as fillers. Just have some other clothespins here to throw around up on the top and stuff like that. Just some plain ones. I had some fabric, just some kind of off-white fabric like this, and I took my stamp and I stamped red, white, and then I used gold for the other stars. So I stamped my fabric there, just some plain red fabric for this one. I have some that says Glory and 4th of July and stuff like that for this one, and then this one had flags on it. So I have that material and I thought I would just use those as fillers. The next thing that I did was spools. Of course, you know, I have this fetish for spools. So what I did was I took the plain spool. This is really a light color, light wood. So what I did with this was I stained it. Then I took some scrapbooking paper, my 4th of July scrapbooking paper, and I put it around this here part. What I did was I used Mod Podge. Then what I did was I painted a wooden star to put here, and I painted a small star for on the top. I then have wire, some really good bendable wire, and the wire that I've been using is wire that they use to make jewelry with. So I took some of the more sturdy wire, I bend it, I put it in here, and I hot glued it. So I got it the height that I wanted. I crimped the end here because I wanted to put a dangle on it. I wanted it to look like a firecracker. So I put a pearl on this one. I put the smaller stars on this one so that it didn't look exactly like this. I put the bigger on the top. And then I had a dangle that is just kind of like a clear. It's a more of a clear than this being the pearl. Still had to have a girly. And again, I bent this, and then I took it and I pinched this together so that this didn't fall off. Okay. Then I still had part of a fence post that somebody brought me, an old fence post. So downstairs, of course, in my stash, I had some stars, and the stars were silver, and they actually had a little hook on them because they were used for Christmas. So I took the hook off, and then I have a tool, and I went around and made the edge rounded, like you can see the rest of it. So what I did was I painted, then I went and I took sandpaper, I sanded it. When I'm always done painting things like this and things like this to where I know that the paint will chip off, I use acrylic spray and I use the matte spray because I don't want it shiny. I want it more the matte looking finish. So I did this one, I did this one, and then I did USA. These are wooden, and what I did, of course, like I always do, I painted, and then I took and I sanded it, and then I went over the top of it. I left this as the plain wood that they were because I really liked that color of the wood. When I did this, I wasn't going to put the stars on here, but I noticed that I hadn't lined this up like I should have lined it up. Kind of made me mad, but with hot glue you only have so much time to line it up, so I didn't line it up, and I had quite a bit more room over here than I did over here. So I found some of the small stars that I used for this, and I took it and I put them on here. So of course I stained like I did everything, like I do everything. And we're going to put that in the middle, and we're going to put that down here. If you have any wooden fence posts, I wouldn't mind having an old wooden fence post. I don't care if it's cracked like this or not, because I use a lot of this stuff. I use it for stacking. I can use it for pumpkins, so many things. So if anybody out there has any fence posts that they're looking to get rid of, let me know and I'll take a couple of them. Okay. I now have that in here. We're going to use these to put around, because we want this to look somewhat fuller. Okay, the back part, we're going to put these and sometimes it's not always how you want it. You have to play with it. You play with the height, you play with the, sometimes even the texture I don't like, and I'll make it out of something a little bit different just because I don't like it for some reason. And I will look at something 100 times and I will do it different 100 times. Okay, let's put the fillers in. Let's see here, another stack. And we'll see how much we like it or how much we don't like it. And then we're going to go around with a little bit of fabric and see just how much we do like it or we don't. A few of these down here, don't mind them staying. Filler, let's see, we'll go with this filler just because. And once we get the zero wrapped around it, it'll look a little bit different. Let me take a look here. See, I looked at that because I was kind of backwards on that situation. Okay. It's looking pretty good. The other thing I made was, and I'm into this too. I bet you're going to say, what aren't you into? But yes, I am into this too.
Fast internet is here. Valley now has higher broadband speeds of up to 1 gigabit. Get the bandwidth you need for all your devices at one time. Gaming with no lag time. Video stream your favorite movies instantly in HD quality. Video chat with friends and family without interruption. Download your favorite music and photos in seconds. All on our 100% fiber optics network. Valley offers managed Wi-Fi and backup services too, bringing together all the services you need. Valley Telecommunications Cooperative.
I made this out of beads, and then I loved this fabric. This fabric says, "From every mountainside let freedom ring, Old Glory, the Bill of Rights, 1776, America the Beautiful." And I made a tassel on the bottom. And I will get to showing you how I make this. I don't know how it's really done for sure. I just made it the Kelly way. I looked at a pattern, and after I got to looking at it, I thought I knew what I was doing, and I didn't, but it turned out anyway. So I'm just going to go with this. What I want to do is I want to let it hang down and over the top just like this. Change a couple things around here. Take a look, decide if I like it or not. see if I want to actually put this in the inside. I think I can take this off first because it's falling off. We'll put the fillers in when we're done, but we'll let the rest kind of reside here. What I want to do is get it more towards the back. This will work okay. Cover up the pieces I don't want shown. I think this is gonna work, ladies. Put this down a little more. I'm gonna throw this in here. There we go. Now, let's do this. Put this back here. Let's see. Take these out until we have our blue put in now. I'm going to half that because it doesn't need to be so large. Around here. It's hard to find a true navy. I mean, like even in a scarf, I looked all over and ended up actually just finding this again at the dollar store. I would have preferred just plain navy, but didn't get that chance to get it that way, so. Okay, this is my front part, so cover up most of the chunks of wood that I have laying here that I have stuff on, and yet not cover up the stuff that I have on here. There we go. I could stuff that in a little bit better once I'm done. What's nice about using this kind of shawl or scarf or whatever you want to call it, I guess scarf, is you don't have that, it's not so thick, it's not such a thick material that you can't put stuff on and it lays decent. So that's what I like about that. It's more of a thin material. Okay, there we go, much better. I'm happier. Okay, now we can put our USA in here and see what she looks like. I like the 4th of July. I guess I like the deals of parades. I like everything. I really don't like the fireworks though. I'm not big on that. It scares me, I guess. Not scares me, but I hate all the noise all the time. Maybe it's just because I'm getting old. I think that's what it is. I'm just getting too old. Okay. Lay some stuff in here till it all falls down. Put some of these over here. I like stuff hanging off the edge like that. And what else do I have? I have a few of these. Now let's see if I can get this to lay down just a little bit better for me. There we go. Guess if you talk nice to it, it works. There we go, and there we go. Throw a few of these in the front. And take a look and say, yeah, I think so. This needs to shift a titch. Tish, scotch, what does it matter? I know what we can do here. We don't want this to be, it's gotta take a real thin piece of wood. Put that right underneath here. And then that will give it some space between there and there. There. I'm liking this much, much better. Much better. And one more piece goes on for the piece of resistance. Please stay up, number 4. Here we go. One more something needs here. There we go. And sometimes letting things hang out like this just kind of makes the look of it as well. And here's our 4th of July tray. I think this was my favorite, my most fun one to put together. I kind of went out on a limb thinking that I couldn't do a couple of the things, and I found out that I could, and I think that made me happy as well. Sometimes you just have to dig into things. You can't be scared. You can't be afraid. If you see something you like and you want to do it, go for it. You never know how it turns out. Thank you for tuning in to Just Crafting Around. We'll see you again next time.